What's up, YouTube? This is the TheRamsayRidgeRunner here, bringing you my very first ever competitive Ubers battle against Dangerous36M. Yes, that Dangerous36M. This was for a tournament for PokeAim MD. I'll have link for both their channels. Sorry, in the description. And so here's the battle. We both start off with our weather inducers. He's running rain. I'm running sun. So right there, that could be a problem. I do get my sun up because Groudon's slower, and we both decide to switch out. I switch into Ferrothorn. He switches out into Jirachi. Now he's gonna U-turn right out. That's just the best move. I figured he probably had rocks. I thought he'd set that up, but he brings in Zekrom, and I just decide to Leech Seed no matter what he does. I want to get the Leech Seed up to heal my Ferrothorn or any other of my Pokemon. So that worked out pretty well for me. And now I decide I'm just going to start setting up spikes to the best of my ability. He sends out Zekrom and switches out Zekrom and then sends out Fortress. And so I want to get rid of this Fortress. I know it can rapid spin away my hazards, plus it can set up its own. So I bring in Rayquaza, who is mixed, has Fire Blast, Draco Meteor, Extreme Speed, and Outrage. So I know he's going to destroy Fortress if he gets a chance to hit him with Fire Blast. But he obviously sees that coming, brings in Kyogre, sets up the rain, severely diminishes the power of my Fire Blast, and takes the Fire Blast, very well. He's water, he obviously resisted it, and my power was weakened. So he's now going to switch out, predicting my Draco Meteor, and bring in Fortress, which I do. This is my first ever battle. I was trying to play it pretty safe. But Draco Meteor still does a ton of damage. Fortress makes me feel like he's definitely more defensively invested, especially defensive. So I figured even with the lowered power due to the rain, Fire Blast can probably take out this Fortress. And I think he predicted me to switch out. So he loses his Fortress early, doesn't get to Rapid Spin. I think he gets up one layer of spikes, and that's it. So that was good for me. So now he sends out Arceus. I'm scared of Arceus. I didn't even know what type it was at first when I thought it was Psychic. And that really screwed me up for a while. So he's going to Swords Dance. And I bring in Ferrothorn, really not even knowing what Arceus is even going to do. Turns out it has Earthquake, which is not good. And I live, he takes out about a little less than a third of my HP. And then I went to go use Leech Seed, and as you saw, it missed. And that could have potentially got me, so I could have lived another hit. But he's just going to take out my Ferrothorn, which could have been crucial later on. So I'm going to bring in Ho-Oh, and he's Scarfed. I'm going to use Punishment, which gains power for each stat boost he got. So I'm like, oh, well, he's got +2 due to Swords Dance. So I figured that would do a lot. But it fails to kill him. So then I switch out Groudon, and this is where I realized that he's Ghost-type Arceus. And I figured Groudon could take Shadow Force. It is stabbed, it's really strong, but Groudon is my physically defensive Pokemon. He's the best thing to take physical attack. And as you see, Shadow Force is just going to demolish Groudon. He lives a 37 HP, 60 after the leftovers. And then I decided, well, I got to get out of here. And this is a big misplay on my part. I should have switched out to Ho-Oh, because his obvious play was just to use Earthquake just to kill me. He obviously wasn't going to use Shadow Force again. And he had no need to use Extreme Speed, which I assume he has, and I find out later that he does. So he just makes a safe play and gets my Dialga out, and Dialga gets nothing. And so now I'm going to send out Ho-Oh, which can easily revenge him, and he's going to be scared away from it. And he's going to send out Kyogre, predicting maybe the Sacred Fire, but I end up using Earthquake, which still doesn't do much at all. Maybe a quarter, but he's going to manage just fine from it. So I switch out, fearing a Water-type move. I still really don't even know what kind of Kyogre this is, but this is where I discover that it's probably the Rest, Sleep, Talk, Calm Mind version. So I switched out into Rayquaza, thinking that he's probably my best bet, especially now that I see these Rest, and he probably does not have Ice Beam. So I go for the safe Draco again, and he switches in Jirachi again, on my Draco. And I believe very safely again I'm going to use Fire Blast, which I do. And unlike Fortress, this is not going to kill him from this range because he's not quad quad effective against him. So now he's going to set up a Wish on this turn. I'm going to switch out into my Reshiram, who is Specs, and he's going to also switch out, I believe, yes, to his Kyogre, which is a really good switch for him and a really terrible switch for me. But he is asleep. Jirachi's Wish is going to come true, and then he's going to switch right out, fearing the Dragon-type move. And I have no reason not to go for the Dragon-type move at this point in time, because it's going to do a ton of damage to whatever he switches in, or if he leaves Kyogre in. So, that's what I do, and I bring down his Jirachi, which is pretty awesome. I believe this leaves us at 4-4, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been keeping track. So he's going to bring in Kyogre again, and I switch out because I have the Lord special attack. And so now I bring in Groudon, and I go down to 14 HP, but I really wanted to get my son up because Reshiram is severely weakened without it. And here I see that he has Sleep Talk, and he gets Calm Mind. And so now I know he only has one attack. So I'm going to get extra Leftovers recovery this turn. And then I realized that I can't switch out Groudon without him dying to the spikes until I get one more turn of Leftovers recovery. So I realize that he has only a 30% chance of getting a move that can actually hurt me. And I go for Dragon Tail to phase him out. He gets the Calm Mind, which was just absolutely awesome. I phase him out. He resets his sleep counter, plus he loses all of his Calm Mind boots. I'm going to get extra Leftovers recovery, get me back to 60 HP, so I can switch out and live another Spikes. And that was like the MVP move for me of this match. It was just, I was so proud of myself. So he's going to bring in Zekrom, and I'm going to bring in my Rayquaza. I didn't really know what it was going to do. I don't think it's even attacked by now, but now I see that it has Focus Blast. This whole time I thought it was physical. So I just go for the Outrage, which is another kind of dumb move on my part, because I definitely should have just gone for the Draco Meteor. It probably still would have killed him, and then I wouldn't have been locked into Outrage for Arceus just to come and revenge kill me. At this point in time, I obviously have to stay in. I can't not stay in. And he takes out my Rayquaza. And I was really worried at this point in time, like, this Arceus is just going to destroy me. I bring in Ho-Oh because he's Scarfed. He's going to outspeed him if he doesn't use extreme speed, but of course he does. He does, 100 damage or so to me. And I Brave Bird him to get him out of there, because I know if I lock myself to Brave Bird, I can hit anything he's got with pretty good attack. So now I'm just going to Brave Bird his Kyogre. I thought he'd kill it one shot, but I think he lives with, yeah, he lives with a little bit of HP, but it's not a big deal. He's asleep. He's not going to wake up. He gets Sleep Talk and gets Rest, which is unfortunate. So he doesn't do anything at all. And then I think I'm going to finish him off this turn with Brave Bird. So I still have Ho-Oh, Groudon, and Reshiram, and all he has left is Ludicolo. And here is the biggest misplay of the game, just due to my inexperience. I assumed Ludicolo had Swift Swim or Rain Dish, and I was kind of thinking Swift Swim until I kind of realized what kind of Ludicolo he was. So I switch in Groudon because I know either way he's going to have an ability that is really going to be no use to him in the sun. So I switch in Groudon, and he gets a sub. And then he kills off Groudon. And now he's behind the sub. And for any of you that have ever faced a Ludicolo, you know what a Ludicolo does. And I should have known. They Elite Seed, Leftovers, and infinitely protect and sub. And as much as I hate to say it, that's what's going to happen to me. So Reshiram, I bring him in. At this point in time, I still don't realize what a poor position I'm in. Way back when he first sent him out, I should have not even bothered with switching in Groudon. If I just Brave Bird, I would have killed Ludicolo right there, and probably won the match, as long as he didn't have Swift Swim. I still don't know what ability he had. I'm assuming he had Rain Dish now that I look at him, how defensive he is. He's going to get Elite Seed off on me. And then he's going to protect and all that, Mishigosh. And so here's my chance I'm like, okay, I'm spec, so I have to keep using Dragon Pulse. And I'm like, I figured I'd kill him, but he's obviously way more specially defensive than I even imagined. And then he lives with enough that he can still get substitute. And now he has Leech Seed and Leftovers, Protect, Sub. He's just going to slowly destroy my Reshiram. And if I was smart, I definitely would have switched him out. You know, there's a ton of things that could have made this situation 100 times better. I still had hope. If I'd switched him out, he would have, you know, wasted a turn trying to sub again. I wouldn't have the leftover, not the leftovers, the Leech Seed going on my Reshiram. And I finally am going to realize this, but it gets to the point where it's too late. I'm at too low of health to even switch into the spikes again. So if I switched out Reshiram, he'd just be, you know, spikes fodder. So I just have to keep leaving him in, hoping that maybe he'll misplay or mispredict or something, so I can get him without a sub when Ho-Oh comes in, or Reshiram can somehow kill him if he forgets to do a sub or something. But this turn right here is when I'm going to lose Reshiram to the Leech Seed, and he is not playing stupid at all. He's, you know, doing the safe sub, protect every turn, which, not that I can blame him. And down goes Reshiram. And my last guy is Ho-Oh, and pretty much the same thing's going to happen. I make another dumb play when I first come in. I'm Scarf, so I'm locked into a move, and I lock myself into Brave Bird, which I guess I didn't realize still deals a recoil if you attack a sub. And so I'm going to slowly be losing HP each turn too. And I should have used Sacred Fire, but I didn't want it to miss on me, obviously. It does have 95% accuracy, and a miss would have been terrible. And I wasn't sure if Earthquake could break his sub. And I definitely didn't want to use Punishment. So Brave Bird, I shouldn't... it was the smartest move, but it was also the dumbest move at the same time. I don't know if that even makes sense. But it just puts me in a terrible, terrible position in which I just can't do anything. And I'm going to get him to super low life. Like right there. It seems like he has almost no HP. You know, if he had just not been healthy enough to make that sub, it would have been a good game. Or any of these times that happens. And then he's going to make a smart play when I break my sub. When he breaks his sub right here, I believe, he's going to use Leech Seed. Yes. He uses Leech Seed because he's at super low health now. Not enough to use the sub. And he's going to leech me off. And he's going to protect this next turn. And that's going to be enough that he's going to leech off the rest of my health. If I just had enough health for one more turn, I would have been able to take him out. If I just had pretty much any other guy except for Ho-Oh and Reshiram left, I could have taken him out. If Dialga hadn't died, or if Fortress hadn't, or if Rayquaza, if I'd had any alternate priority, even Dragon Tail would have been super helpful, but I didn't. But anyway, guys, it was a great battle. Thanks to Dangerous36M for battling me. If you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.